Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today I want to look at the Skylon Edge arrows. Now, Skylon is a new company to me. It's a new arrow supplier. I knew nothing about it until one of my viewers messaged me and said, you've got to check out these arrows and not these ones, target arrows, because they're really affordable and really good. So I went and did my research. And that's basically what I want to talk a bit about this video. So when I look at getting into a new arrow, I go, well, are they affordable? What do they have? And how well do I think they will sell in my store? So I'm looking, do they have hunting arrows? Do they have traditional arrows? Do they have target arrows? Are they priced right in the market? And in this video, we're going to talk about the Edge arrow. This is a standard carbon arrow, so a 246. So it competes against the Gold Tip Hunter, the Victory V-Force, the Eastern Power Flight, the Carbon Express Predator, and I don't know which Black Eagle arrow it is yet because I haven't seen Black Eagles, but it's a standard carbon, normal thickness arrow it competes against. Now the difference between this arrow and the other arrows, the tolerance on this is meant to be 0.003 in straightness. The other arrows are 0.005 at a similar price point. So now the other arrows, all those arrows I mentioned do have, except for the Power Flights, do have higher tolerances and they are more expensive. So with the Gold Tip Hunter, in the sports model, it's a 0.005. In the gamer model, it's a 0.003. And it's about an extra $30. Same applies for V-Force. It goes from Hunter to Gamer, I think it's called, and it jumps about $20, $30. The Eastern Power Flight, they only make those in those shafts, then you have to jump up to a different type of arrow. Same with Carbon Express, the Predators only come in that style of arrow, then you have to jump up to a higher grade arrow after that. So I want to look at these. Now first off, let's run through the specs of these arrows. So the width thickness of these is the same on all those companies. The difference is the grains per inch. The Skylon Edge, and I'm comparing a 400 spine arrow, so this is an arrow for a 60-pound bow. Skylon Edge is a 7.4 grains. The Eastern Power Flight is 8.9. The V-Force is 8.2. The Gold Tip Hunter is 8.2, and the Predator from Carbon Express is 8.9. So the Edge is going to be lighter than the other arrows. So it will shoot a little bit higher. Now some people prefer more weight for hunting. Is 0.8 of a grain going to make much difference? So over 30 inches, we're talking about 20 grains. So it's going to be a little bit quicker. Now this is not in the speed of the fast carbon arrows, but it's a little bit lighter than the normal one. So if you're going to choose these over one of the traditional carbons, bear in mind your sights are going to move up a little bit. So this is the box it comes in. It comes with some nice information sheets to tell you about the grains per inch and that sort of stuff. So it's a nice box. Now my first comment is you cannot tell from this box what's inside it. So it would have been better if you had the vanes up here so you can see what type of vanes it's got, whether it's got feathers, whether it's got 2-inch plastic fletch vanes, 2-inch blazer vanes, because with this you just can't see. Now if you've got really poor eyesight, this is how big the label is, and it's very hard to read this label, as you can probably see, on the box. You're like 433 inches. So 33 inches is good. A lot of those arrows do not come at 33 inches. So if you've got an extra long draw length, the Skylon arrows are right up your alley because they are 33 inches. They come with a blazer vanes and a push-in nock. So let's have a look what this looks like inside. So this is your inserts. They look kind of normal. Every insert is quite a bit big, quite a bit longer than this. I'm going to say almost twice the size, so you've got more gripping of it. Now, so this is what the arrows look inside the box. So one of the issues about not being able to see the vanes, if you're buying these vanes, if you're buying these arrows, you can't see what color vanes you're buying in the arrows. You can see these are quite dark. Now they're made quite well. I'm just going to pull out one of them out of box. That's the graphics on the side. The graphics look nice. The carbon material itself looks nice. It looks like it's got more carbon than, I'm going to try and zoom in. I'm going to say it looks like it's got more carbon than something like the Eastern Powerflight, which looks like it's got more resin. It looks very similar to the Gold Tip and the Victory carbon shaft, like the Predator carbon shaft. And this is me flexing it. Let's hope it doesn't break. Oh, that's all right. It's not breaking. So one of my things is when you get into a new arrow shaft, you don't know how reliable they are, how strong they are, and time will tell. I haven't sold these before, I really don't know. But what I do know is about the price. So let's just start with the price. So your Eastern Powerflight arrows, this is what I sell them for in Australia. This is made prices, so I'm not comparing shafts with shafts, I'm just comparing this 0.003 to a 0.005. The Eastern Powerflights are 110 a dozen in my shop, other shops are 140. The V-Force from Victory are 105, that being the cheapest. Now I think the Victory is a superior arrow to the Eastern Powerflight in my view. I think it's stronger, I think it lasts better. The Gold Tip Hunter shaft in my opinion is a very good arrow, but a little bit more expensive than the Victory at 130. The Predator carbon shaft from Carbon Express is a good carbon shaft. However, the thickness does vary for each of the shafts. So the thinner carbons are thinner obviously. The lighter spine ones like the 800 spine are thinner than the 40 to 60s, which gets a bit confusing for which nocks to fit and stuff like that. But this to me, these arrows we're selling for $95 a dozen, so about $10 cheaper than your Victory, which is the cheapest on the market at the moment. So then you say, well, how do these arrows compare to the Chinese arrows on the market? So to me, these look better made, whether they are or not, that's another question. The tolerances are better than the Chinese. The Chinese arrows we sell for, I'm just looking over, $60 a dozen. So now these are 95 a dozen, so they're clearly more expensive, but they do have your blazer vanes. That looks like a bony knock. Whether it is or not, that's another question. But it looks like a nice thing. Now, when you're testing out new arrows, check to see how they perform against your other arrows. So I've had it before where people have brought one arrow and they go and buy other arrows and they break really easy. So if you're going to go to the new Skylon arrows, just buy some, test them out. If they work, then you're saving money. The tolerances look good, 0.003 versus 0.005. And I'm going to say with the Skylon arrows that we've tested so far, and when I say we, the ones I've given to customers to try, the ones I've tried have had extremely positive results. And I'm going to say even from the beginner ones, and that's the Skylon Radius, which is their target arrow, which are about $95 a dozen, fully made target arrows. People are getting amazing results with them. They're top of the line arrow like the Paragons, people are shooting extremely well with and getting excellent results. So I don't see any reason why people would not get excellent results with the Edge. But check them out, I think they'll be successful, and that's one of the reasons why we picked up these arrows to sell in the shop, because I think they're priced well. I think they've got a good range, like they do the traditional arrows, they do the indoor arrows, they do the target arrows, they do the really thin carbon arrows. So they've got all the bases covered and they seem to be really well priced. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. That's the Skylon Edge arrow. Check out your local archery shop, and if you've shopped them before, drop a note before and let people know how they performed and how you found them. A lot of customers are very price sensitive and they're on a tight budget, and I think that's where these arrows will really come into their own. And hopefully I'll get to test them and see how they shoot and see how they score, and put some points in and yeah, see how they go. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Enjoy your shooting, and the more you shoot, the better you shoot. Thanks for watching. Bye.